Well, this is going to be an interesting start to a video. As I mentioned in one of my other videos, they're replacing the garage door because the trash company damaged it and they're paying for it, and so I'm getting a new door. But they need it cleared out all back to this, basically the garage door opener forward. All has to be clear from below the rails on both sides. Yeah, that's where all my stuff sits. Not to mention the rest of it is kind of full. So I need to frantically get everything finished, organizing, and redone so that all works. Well, one of the things that was on the list was I had gotten some drywall a few years ago when I got a cart of wood from one of my neighbors. Like they had a section of their garage they were cleaning out, and they said you can have anything there. So there was drywall, so I figured, okay, great. Drywall, costs money. And I had these sections that I had replaced with cardboard a while ago when the roof had gotten damaged years before and the drywall got all wet when it rained. So I had this whole section torn out and replaced in cardboard. Well, now it's the perfect time to put the drywall up. So I got one piece up, and I'm going to work on getting the other piece up. The one issue is going to be the way the garage door opener is installed. It's installed up near the ceiling and or in the ceiling. As you can kind of see there, the rails are above the drywall level. And in the old garage door opener before this, before that one died, they had a hole in the drywall that they had the track going up into. But when I reinstalled this one and got it level, it was set up high. So yeah, I can't just put drywall the whole way across. So we'll see how that goes. But in any case, I should have enough drywall to cover most of this side and maybe part of the other side. But in any case, that's the current fun mess, is to get all of this stuff reorganized such that basically let's see, where are the rails? Yeah, so basically on this side, from here forward, which is all this stuff, and on this side, from here forward, which is all that stuff, which is the wood storage and the cart, and yeah. So we'll see how it goes. The good news is a lot of the bigger things are on wheels, so it'll roll around. The bad news is I have limited floor space. I mean, I have some, which, I can move the chairs and move the other miscellaneous things, and all this can shift back. But we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely going to end up having a smaller walkway here because that's not going to fit. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting few days, an interesting weekend. Luckily, I don't have to, they're not replacing the garage door opener, so I can leave that up. But everything from here forward has to move back or elsewhere. I guess the one good thing is this half of the garage is mostly empty in that respect. So it's not as bad as if the whole thing was full. So I really just have to have that quarter, or a little bit over a quarter, shifted back out of the way. So it should work, but we shall see. Anyway, back to doing drywall. The one thing I did do for this is I put a piece of wood up there under where the drywall goes, screwed that to the wall, and then was able to sit that up on the wood, so it was easy to hold up there while screwing it in. So it's not, and the other benefit is because these are only 24 inches wide versus full 4x8 sheets, it's doable by yourself. It's just you have to plan it and have everything within arm's reach. Screwdriver, the whole bit, because you definitely can't in the middle go do something else. All right, well, I took down the other side of cardboard and I lowered both ends of the garage door opener one slot, so like an inch or so. So what that means is if we go up here it is now below where the drywall goes, except for out at the end, like where the old opener went up through the drywall. So that's better. It's not great, but it's better. So next I have to figure out how I'm going to put the drywall up above. Well, since I already have a board on this side, I may just figure out the slant that needs to go on, such that I can slant it on both sides and then have it above the whole way back. And because this is where all the garage door attaches up to the beams, I'm going to make boards here so that they're just screwed in and easy to remove if you have to get up in here and deal with the brackets, because otherwise that's a pain if you have to take you don't want to take drywall down just to adjust the garage door opener, but unscrewing some boards should be fine. So yeah, it's better. I can at least now put stuff above the garage door opener where it's supposed to be for almost the whole run. The one thing I had to do on this end over here is because this got lowered so much, you can see this used to be up this high and I dropped it down that far. But the problem is the ends of these bolts stuck down and hit the spring. Even as it is, that's still close. So what I had to do, since those stuck down about this far, I had to take the whole thing down, get the hacksaw, make sure these were tight, cut them off, then put everything back up. And dropped the garage door opener, but luckily caught it, and I don't think it got damaged. So it only fell about a foot on this end. Well, the other side fell the whole way to the floor, but this end only fell about a foot, and then I caught it. Yeah, fun and exciting. So anyway, the good news is, now this is dropped down. Now I can keep going and try and get more of the drywall and stuff up. And I really hope this is going to work. We shall see, but I hope it's going to work. Well, I used up all of the drywall I had. Well, except for those little pieces. And yeah, that's not too bad. So I got this piece is fairly normal. This piece from here up, it's at the normal height. Otherwise it tilts and has to go up a little bit, but it's there. So I think, well, I'll see what I have, but I'm probably just going to put the rest of this as just plywood and stuff, because that's about as easy as getting more drywall, because I don't even need a 4 foot by 4 foot piece to cover all that. Well, a lot of it's moved. It's pretty much full from the back. I got this little gap that I'm going to have to put some of this wood in because it's in the way, and I have to move too much of this yet. And I still have a table and some minimal carts, but the front is open. Haven't seen this patch of floor in forever. Oh yeah, we got it's mostly back behind the rails, except for the saw. It's behind that. This is only to 9 or 8.5, 9 feet. They said 10, which is back here. I can't do 10. I can do this far. I can't get, as it is, that's going to be a challenge to put this stuff somewhere. Again, the wooden things is going to go behind there. Assuming I get this cleared out, I could put the trash cans in the yard on Tuesday, and that will keep under, because they have to replace the rails. So everything under and around the rails. But since there's already connector pieces, it should just be rails and down. They shouldn't have to go a whole lot past, I'm hoping. There is about a foot or so gap behind there, between there and the table saw area. So that gap there I could fill in with wood or such. So And I have just enough room to sneak by and get in and out. Yeah, fun stuff. But haven't seen this floor in forever. So it'll be a good time to, clean out any residual sawdust. There is some in there. And here's what it looks like the next morning from the outside. So I still got to get all this mess cleaned up and moved out. And I got to get this part cleaned up and moved out. But otherwise, yeah, it's a very full garage. So this weekend I will finish up cleaning all this stuff up. So we got this stuff all stacked up. I got a little of the walkway cleared up, at least enough so that I don't trip. So this is cleared out better. We got stuff stacked in where the recycle bins go. And I pretty much have it cleared out back to, the end of the rails. So hopefully that will be good. Worst case, we can move the bike, and this is on wheels, so this will move out of the way, so that shouldn't be too bad. But that side's a little bit harder to move. So I got it clear down to just 2 carts in the way. This one with the wood, and this one with the miter saw on. Both are on wheels. I definitely have more stuff than well, you always have more stuff than you realize, but yeah, I have way more stuff than I need. So when we put stuff back, it'll be, okay, do I need this? No, throw it out. Do I need this? No, throw it out. I already did that some, but there will be more. So the other thing I noticed is that not only is this part of the garage door dented in, but where it actually hit my big shelf, like basically it hit that corner of the shelf and the stuff I had sitting in front of it. Where it hit that, when it pushed things in, it dented the inside of the door. So you know you hit it hard when you dent the inside of the door from the impact. But yeah, so that should be much better once that gets replaced. So they're replacing the rails plus the garage door. And I really hope. They said that they don't need to replace these pieces that go up into the ceiling. So that shouldn't have to come down, just this part basically. And that they can get to, and there they can get to the whole way down. And similarly on the other side, they can get to there. I may have to move that stuff. I might do that. Yeah, I might do that now just to get this stuff out of the way, because this is kind of in the way. So I'll take those down. But then otherwise we should be all set. All right, it is Tuesday morning and the garage should be ready to go. We have everything out of the way. I reshuffled things in this section, so there shouldn't be any problems. Everything that didn't fit in the garage is in the yard, which just means the trash cans and a couple of bikes. Everything else actually fit along this side. I didn't have to put anything in the neighbor's garage. We have the garage door disconnected as requested by Larry, who showed up first. So got the bolts there that went on the door. And yeah, hopefully it'll work. Initially I thought I had the wire to rewire these in the box, but when I found the box in behind stuff, it was empty. So I'm pretty sure I already put the wire somewhere else. So this wire is too short to wire it yet, so before we put everything back, I'll have to find the wire to rewire those. Because I do think I want to try and put them on the outside. The one other thing that's an issue though is there is a large gap under this side and under the other side, so I have to fix that. There was a 1/2 inch gap there that just went to the outside, and I think stuff was getting in. Hopefully there's nothing still in here, but before we finish all this up and put stuff back, I have to fix that so nothing can crawl under there, because that's big enough the rat or mouse or whatever could easily fit under there. And we don't want any of those things in here. So, yeah. So I'll have to fix that before we're finished. But we shall see. I think everything is all ready to go. They should be able to get here and access all the pieces they need to, hopefully. I might want to put these bikes in the yard. I guess I will do that just because those are somewhat in the way. Yeah, I'll do that. Alright. Okay, bikes are out of the way, so now there should be no reason that they can't access both sides. So we'll see how it goes. They said they'd be here in a little while, so yeah. Fun. And it didn't actually take him that long. He put these splash things. Granted, they're not on there very well. He just did a couple pin nails that looked like it went most of the way through. It does add a bit of protection, so that should be good. I should keep some of the crap from blowing in on this side, and the thicker rubber thing at the bottom should help keep that as well. I do still have to deal with the hole under this bottom piece, but that shouldn't be too bad. I just have to get to the tools in order to do that, which those are in the back of the garage. It is nice to be able to use the same opener with the new door. One thing he had said is don't try and go up. He put a little mark on here. Don't go past that. So we're about an inch below there, because that way it doesn't stress the cable. Yeah, it all worked. He had mentioned that, yeah, this is a very tight, low profile thing. He actually had to trim the low profile down to fit. So this must have been a custom thing when they redid it as well. The one thing that they didn't do, or I should say when we got the opener replaced, he replaced one of the bolts with this, or it was this way originally. But I need 2 longer pins instead of a short pin, because this pin had originally been up in the top and the shorter fat pin was down at the bottom, which is on this end. But the top pin has to fit here, and so I found a bolt that will work, but I can't get to the tools yet to cut it off and make it into a cotter pin type thing. There's no reason that shouldn't work. It needs trimmed. I'm sure that would work that length, but it needs trimmed, and so I can put the thing in. It only has to be this long. I have to get to the tools first, but that works for now. But the tools I need are back behind several layers of stuff, so I can't quite get there yet. And the other thing with those pin nails, I think I'm going to put extra nails through the side to hold that in place, because if I don't do it that way, like I just tugged on this slightly and you can see it comes out, and there's pin nails that are supposed to be there. So yeah, the pin nails went the whole way through. You can kind of see there. So I'm gonna have to put regular nails in. That should be fine, but it's annoying. But again, my hammer's at the back of the garage. I can get to the nails, amazingly enough, but the hammer's back there on the wall. So yeah, that'll take a bit, but that shouldn't be too hard. Just put nails, one or so nails everywhere there's pin nails. That should be fine. So next, put everything back where it's supposed to be and throw out stuff as I go. And I got the pin done. So that should work just fine. It's plenty long and it shouldn't move back and forth. And if it does, it'll stop here or over there. But it's cut off. It has the little pin in, or the keeper. And I have stuff back. It's not, some of it, like this section is more or less the final place. The hot tub lid fit again, which I was very happy about. I had to adjust things slightly for what was supporting it, because it was just hacked together before. Now there's actually a board that's supporting it across, which is a little bit better, but the door misses it when it goes down, so that's good. I still have to finish up some of this stuff and some of the placement of things, but all the stuff back in the corner mostly went back in the corner. There's still some stuff over here I have to put back, but for the most part, this was a successful endeavor. I got the nails in on the whole way around the edging, so that's held much better. So yeah, I think that's, I don't know where I put the wires for that, so I'm just going to leave it up there for now because it works just fine. As soon as I find the wire, I will install it. They did show me where to install it. Put it down there a little bit up, just line them up so they work. So as part of moving the sensors to the front of the garage, I went and I spliced the wires. I had color coded them so that the pair that were on the one side I marked as blue, because there's two sensors and each pair has a pair that goes into one port on the garage door opener and the other pair goes into another port. And as I found a little bit earlier, if they're not connected at all, it decides to just blink and not open. So I'm assuming the equivalent thing might be just to cross wires, but I'm not going to try that. In any case, I found the wire that the garage door guy gave me for whenever I decided to move them. And I got some of these GB Gardner Bender butt splice insulated 22 to 16 crimp connectors. I don't think these are heat shrink. I'm not going to try it just in case I screw it up. I will just put some of the electrical tape on to make sure it's sealed, since unfortunately these have to be over near the door. But the good news is I got the longer wires connected, plugged the ends in appropriately paired, and the garage door opener still works. So that's a plus. So now I'm going to take these down, put them on a board so they're out of the way, and then finish the ceiling. And then once the ceiling is done, I can run the wires up and fight with sensors. So fun stuff. As an intermediate step, now that I know that the wiring works, I took the sensors out of the ceiling and put them on a board just so they're out of the way, so I can finish up the ceiling first. And then I will have the ceiling to attach the wires on to go to the front. So for now, they're there. Hopefully I won't bang into them. It should be fine. And the ceiling is done. On that side, as I mentioned before, it's tilted up in because of the rail, but that should be fine. There's little gaps, I can fill those or leave it, just paint, who knows. And luckily, one of my neighbors who I got wood from before said he's moving out and do I want some more wood? And I was like, yeah. Turns out, because this is 5/8 inch drywall, I would have needed 5/8 of an inch plywood. Well, I only had 3/4 or half. He was throwing out a bunch of 5/8 inch. So I had enough plywood to finish this just from what he was throwing out. And I still have that chunk left over. Well, and that. But yeah, that ends up being pretty cool. I mean, it's not perfect, but the sensors are down out with longer wires. So those will get attached probably next weekend because it's going to storm tonight, hopefully. California, gotta love it. Need rain. But yeah, plywood pieces the whole way. And there really isn't too much in the way of gaps. I mean, just right around where the fittings go, and that's not too bad. And right up in there is the biggest spot, but that's where the beam is. So it's not really a gap so much as there's a beam there and it's hard to get the pieces up in. I ended up using a little narrow piece, an offcut from one of the other pieces, but that fit perfect, and then I was able to split it around there because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get it around here. But that worked. I just put pieces of plywood across the top and screwed it up in so it's all solid. Yeah, that should be good. I don't think I put anything there, but that should be fine. Yep, I like it. It is all done. This is just going to be a bunch of fiddly bits, trying to get the wires run and then across and down and then get those to line up. So I don't think I'm going to film that. The big thing with this is it's not cardboard anymore. It's actually solid. And I don't think it's worth videoing filling in cracks. That's pretty boring. Or painting. That's even more boring. Very cool. I'm happy. That should keep it much better in here. And once I get it crack filled that I'm going to do and then painted to match this, it should look pretty nice. So, fun. It took a quart of paint and a 2-inch brush, 4 hours to paint the garage door. And it's a little bit thin in spots because I was worried about running out, and it literally ran out just after finishing. I was able to touch up a few spots, but otherwise, from a distance, it looks gray, so it should be fine. And I'm hoping, because this has the rubber seals on the edges, that should help keep a lot of the dust and dirt out, because there used to be a gap on that side that let a lot of stuff in. So I'm hoping that will help. But yeah, this is what happens when you ask for stuff. You get things and then you can use it later. So that's awesome. So the ceiling is done, the garage door is painted, and ready to put the garage back together.